Hi guys, we're gonna talk about a movie I watched. A novel movie, we could say. Light novel, or maybe like that. Anyway, this is the movie I watched. Hope you enjoy. Darkest Minds. Pretty interesting. It's a bit like The Maze Runner, except it's kind of good in some aspects. It's a bit like Days of Future Past. Basically a bit. And a bit like the X-Men, so to speak. Anyway, we begin with the story with our main protagonist, Ruby. And we hear about in the world that children, one day, when Ruby was in class, one of her childhood friends got a weird seizure, and after that we discovered that all of those children has some form of evil mutation. That then the government does type of X-Men type of basically Days of Future Past law or something. And children, I forgot to mention, that child, his friend or her friend, died in the movie. Mm-hmm. And then 5 or 6 more died of her class. Yay, not even funny. That's fucking terrifying. That's actually terrifying. And then after that, it was basically hundreds of other kids, teenagers, that had superpowers, we could say. Basically X-Men powers, kinda. Attacking over the city, and we have another rogue faction. So then we have the leader of the government, basically the president guy, whatever. He says, I will find a cure with my son. My son has that, but he's still alive. And some of those people that are alive are not so fortunate than those that are dead. Because those that are dead are only buried. So, yeah. Not great luck. But anyway, our main protagonist lives in her life. And her parents are pretty worried that she could be one of those children. And of course, and behold. And Lord behold, she is one of them. Though she is pretty dangerous. She is, in the scale of all of them in the story, she is basically orange, which is one of the highest colors. We have green, we have blue, and we have yellow. And we have red. Red is the deadliest of all of these mutations. The orange one is more mind controlling your head, you could say. Mm-hmm. Anyway, our main protagonist doesn't know this, so she lives her life in her 10th birthday and have her fun, and then she forgets to, we could say she's scared because she got a nightmare or something. You know, she was a small child, man. Anyway, she go to her parents to take a nap with them, and then her power activates. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, when she wakes up, or the same day, her parents forget that she existed. Spoiler warning, by the way. I should have said that before, but I forgot. And I'm a bit tired, because I just went out from the movie theater. So Ruby basically gets to one of these evil camps, so to speak. And she has been there for 16 years. Jesus Christ. Anyway, she's basically analyzed by a scientist, and the scientist says, you're an orange, you should be killed, and she stops him by touching by touching his hand, or... Sorry, my throat. 2 seconds. She basically does Scarlet Witch and stops his fucking move, and says that she is green, and basically saves her ass, basically. And they do some funny jokes in this movie, pretty funny jokes by the main characters. Anyway, she basically works there, and a chick that has red hair tries to help her, and a really asshole-ish, what should we say, security guard, evil forceman. We could call him the guy with the short hair with evil face.
The captain.
The captain, yes, the captain. You know what's a shame? He has the same as my hat, which sucks. I am not that person. Anyway, though, we continue with the story, and basically she escapes by the help of the scientist, who is a nice one.
Kate.
By the scientist Kate. So she basically escapes and survives, and even tricks the captain by holding his hand and saying, "Leave me alone," and basically open the gate. And she escapes. And we have some cool music. Really good music in this movie. I can say the action was pretty good. The music was good. The message was kind of good, and maybe I expect other movies. And I really hate that it ended on a kind of cliffhanger for me. Kinda. But anyway, she tries to go back to her parents' home, but she wants to, but she knows that that they would never recognize her again. Mm-hmm. And that sucks. And she has also a little gift I forgot to mention. A little anime kind of toy, Bee Bumble toy. Mm-hmm. Keychain, Bee Bumble keychain. And she gave it to her kind of boyfriend in this movie.
Yeah, Liam.
Liam, or Lee. Lee, much easier. Liam or Lee. Yeah, Liam. And the interesting thing was we have also a smart guy that basically said, I knew you were an orange since you set foot in this camp. Sheps. Or Lincoln.
Charles
Xavier. So he's basically Charles Xavier 2.3 million. Except smart, teenager, Charles Xavier, basically. And it's interesting that we heard about also her parents' father, or her father is a detective, a police detective, and her mother is a medical nurse, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And we also heard about Lincoln, or Charles's father and mother. His father is a doctor, and his grandma is basically liking sitting on beaches, or sits on bridges, on water bridges at rivers. And he said a funny joke that was like, I am becoming my goddamn grandma. That was funny though. We had some funny jokes, and I couldn't even understand that. Even he said, yeah, I knew you were a Jello person. I knew you were an orange person since you came here. Though to be fair, those that have green, I forgot to mention, those that have green has super intellect. Basically Charles Xavier's. And those that have blue are basically... how should I say this? Yes, they're basically Jean Greys. They're basically Jean Greys. How should I say this? Jean Greys in different levels.
Yep.
Pretty much X-Men with Gifted, with a bit of the TV show Gifted in it. And the political asshole...
President Grey.
President Grey is a dick. Nothing more to say. He said, oh, I will save my child. Bullshit. He maybe gets more money by killing off those kids, unfortunately. But, of course, our main protagonist will not allow that. Mm-hmm. And we have also the little Asian girl, I forgot to mention her name. Sue. And Sue is basically like... Storm. Basically like Storm with electricity powers. Mm-hmm. And I will just say a quote that Storm said. You know, Frog, you know what happens when electricity shows up? Death. Pretty much. Mm-hmm. And we also have our... Which more character do we have? Oh yeah, bounty hunters. I forgot to mention those.
Lady Jane,
which is an ass. Or a jackass. Mm-hmm. Pretty much a jerk. Though it was kind of unfair that they basically... our main protagonist basically goes with these ragtag mutant kind of people that escape the camps. And some of the kids are dead. Some of the kids are not. And they escape, and our main protagonist's boyfriend basically opened the doors and escaped. And by discovering that was... okay, I'm jumping around, but... She basically read one of the other minds, which was the... basically Sue. She read Sue, and Sue actually accepted this. Sue was not an... sorry, my throat.
Her little sister.
Yeah, Sue was more like a little sister to our main protagonist, and she was not pissed about this. She was a nice guy, and she accepted it. To be fair, it was kind of a happy one. They got saved at least, so that's nice. And we have basically hunting squads, like Gifted a bit here, hunting around, and a lot of kids die. For those people that like action movies, it's fine. Mm-hmm. And it's a bit better than Maze Runner. They don't confuse a lot of things. They stay on track, we could say. So our main protagonists basically go around, try to find refuge, try to find food, try to avoid to not be captured, and enjoy their little van. Also, they found a book reference to...
A camp.
Yes, a camp.
A special camp
for mutants or X-Men. A special refuge, but in movie action fashion, our main villain of this movie... douchebag, McBag, oh, my father is doing harm to me kind of guy.
Clancy Gray.
Clancy Gray or Clant. We should call him Idiot. Pretty much Idiot. Mm-hmm. Idiot, jealous bastard. Though to be fair, the jealous subplot was a bit like, come on, I could see it a mile away. But anyway, cool powers, pretty cool that their eyes actually shift. But the thing is, if their eyes could basically shift like this, it's a bit giving away, isn't it? And the second thing is, we have another faction that wants to fight with these mutants or help them. Mm-hmm. Help them, but make them a military force. Or basically make them into a military militia. Which we know that in the Brotherhood or
the
Fallout,
League,
whatever.
The League.
The Legion.
League.
The League. Yeah, League or... Yeah, the League, whatever. The League. The ones with a type of bird feather, I think it is. Yeah, bird feather. A black and grey bird feather. The League. And they want to help, and they actually help them train. But when they come to the refuge camp, they basically train, and she learns a lot about her powers, and most people live fine there. But that's, of course, only a mask. Because in the end, the asshole, rich fucking president's son... Which actually I think is a reference to Donald Trump. I think it's an allegory for that. Though to be fair, I enjoy that they beat the crap out of the son, which would be Donald Trump's son. Yay! A plus in my book. Anyway, it was a cool action scene. She basically said stop and fucking crashed a freaking helicopter on his ass, and he still didn't die. I would be like, oh, he like... The only thing he got was like this. Oh, my arm is damaged. Oh, I have bleeding scars. And I'm like, you would be dead, or seriously more injured. Whatever. Teenage books, they changed them a bit here. Anyway, though, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the little Asian girl with the gloves this time. With the gloves. So she basically is the guy. Sue. I enjoyed the movie, it was fun, interesting, and I kinda enjoyed that our main protagonist actually said, screw you, I'm not gonna join with anyone. Kinda, but then she was forced to join with the Legion because they didn't have many options of medical care, because Charles Xavier 2.30 burned his fucking body to a crisp, almost to death. Though I wonder how the hell did they survive in all of this shit. But anyway, I enjoy that they had the structure explaining in a pyramid type of way. Oh, I forgot to mention. You know what? I'm gonna change that captain guy. I'm not gonna be associated with that jackass. No, thank you. I have my hat, and I don't want to be associated with that bastard in the movie. He was a good character. He was a good actor. I can at least believe his acting. What I cannot believe is his treatment. Two poor scientists that did only a little fuck up. Though to be fair, he was mind controlled, so he couldn't know. So he's like, yay, you know these kids that can burn your face off? The funny thing is, those with red powers are basically exploding flame. They're basically like a combination between a volcano and Johnny Storm. From the Fantastic Four. The good one. Which are the animated ones, actually. But anyway, so he basically says, Doctor, give me the information. Did you not know that she was this in for 6 years? He's like, please, I didn't fucking know, goddammit. And he's like, please, sir, can we talk? And he's like, no, I'm gonna walk away and take my snack. At Wiedersehen. And he's like, please, let me talk. And he's like, ah! And then he's like, we need a new doctor. Oops. We need a new doctor, I forgot. And the door was burning with like, ah! What the fuck? Ah! And of course, I forgot to mention, there were pretty some. Hope you enjoy the video. But anyway, there were pretty cute scenes. There were funny action, really cool action, and also a funny joke between Charles Xavier and our main protagonist when he said, "You know, we're not talking about you, damn it. We're talking about the chick that was the bounty hunter." Oh, I forgot to mention, our main protagonist basically did the mind controlling thing like this. I don't know how to do that. They basically put in contact lenses in most of these, I think. Pretty original contact lenses. Not a good idea, but whatever. The book wasn't in. I've not read the book, but the movie overall was interesting. But I like that the bounty huntress. What was her name again?
Lady Jane.
Lady, or you know what we call her? Douchebag Jane. Douchebag Jane.
Okay.
You're not even deserving of being called lady because you're not even a lady close. So the douchebag Jane basically traps our friends and almost tries to kill them. So our main protagonist is basically like, no, you will drop your gun and walk in the forest until you die of hunger or whatever. And I'm like, yay! I was like, yay! Finally you did fucking something good. And that was actually good. And also I liked the powers that they had and used them. But also was like, some things were like, yeah, our main protagonist, Ruby, basically touched, what was it again? The guy that said, no, we cannot have this guy that is psychic and he has betrayed us. What was his name? Damn it! Anyway, I'm just coming up with it.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Rob.
Robbie, we could call him. Robbie. So basically Robbie says, screw you, and she's like touching her saying, no problem. And then she discovers that he was basically touching another one, trying to save them, but she was a blue one, and she was like afraid of him, because they are fighting, basically we have the League fighting against the government, and they're now gonna do a fucking, what should we say, the child in this case, and the president are basically like, Hitler 2.0 assholes. Kinda. Not sure. And I could see a bit of the cracks that the son was like, yeah, I can show you the powers and let me show you my power. Like, one thing that I should have think about, which I didn't think about when it was cool action stuff. It was good. We saw the children have fun and good things. Some of the children are still alive and some of them are now dying or experimenting, whatever. I don't know exactly, but they may be gonna save them. So some of them are alive and now are in the League because they have no other option because their refuse is fucking gone and has been alive for the whole time. And our main protagonist doesn't see those flags. A bit stupid. Though I understand that the main villain didn't want him to touch the computer. Because he was basically collecting them like stock. Like live animals. Which is assholish. Pretty much. Pretty much assholish. Hope you enjoyed the video, but pretty much jerk. But some of them survived, and our main protagonist survived as well, had a cool fight, and they even did, like, she basically took all the soldiers, and actually, that was smart. She took away the soldiers, which means that they would die, so they could not capture more of the kids. So most of the kids are still alive. And we have another guy also. The guy that was talking with Charles Xavier about the plant. In the garden.
Yeah, but
we could call him.
We don't know
his name.
His name.
But we could call him Cool Dude with 80s hair. Cool Dude with 80s hair was talking about, you know, the green peppers and stuff that they should have them plucked now. And the other guy says, wait for them to be red so we can have vitamin C, which is a good thing. Anyway, it was cool action and cool stuff. Pretty good movie. I give it, in my opinion, I give it a 7 out of 5. 7 out of 5. Not bad, not super good, but we will see, because this is a first book out of, I think, 5 or 6. 4 books. This is like a 4-book thing, like the Maze Runner, except in the Maze Runner they have only done 3. And they ended it in 3. But we know that's 4 books in Maze Runner. Jeez. Good job, guys! How are you gonna tie up that now? I hope you get your paychecks or not. Thank you. I hope if you don't get your paychecks. But anyway, I think, in my opinion, if she could wipe out the memories of her existence of her father, I think, you know, it's a bit contrived because they explain the powers. And of course our main protagonist's boyfriend, which you could call Ash in one case. He is basically obsessed, and he like remembers that when he touched her, or when he holded her, he basically heard about everything that happened when he was the evil asshole son, the evil villain. Which was his name again? Cly. What?
Cly is the son of the president.
The son of the president, Cly. He was basically obsessed with him, obsessed with her, and our main protagonist's boyfriend, Leon, or Ash, kinda. I'm just referencing here in my head. But Leon, he basically said, I'm gonna shoot that bastard. Which you should have done, or better, just go in before they had the conversation. Some things add up, and some things don't add up. Like, for example, where the fuck is the father? Or, like, yeah, I know his father is somewhere, but, you know, some things don't add up. But it was nice that they had a book reference to the rabbits in the hills. Have you heard about that book? It's a book about rabbits trying to live in another place, trying to live from their home, and trying to find a new place for themselves.
Okay. Yeah, I need to...
It's a reference. I have seen that movie, which was an animated rabbits movie about the rabbits in the hills. That's a really dark movie. Don't show it to your kid, I'm serious. Anyway, I enjoyed the movie and had some fun. It was basically like an X-Men movie, and I actually jumped up on my seat once. A couple of times. And I ate a lot of food. And now I'm regretting that decision. Anyway, in the end of the movie, basically she rallies up everyone and she's like, yay, time to fight. Which means this is gonna be like the Hunger Games, except part 2. No, except part 3. It's gonna be like part 3 now. Like a civil war. But it could be interesting and cool. We will see what happened in the next movie. But anyway, in total summon, I enjoyed the movie and it was fun. So the little girl is basically The little girl is basically Storm. The dude with the green eyes is basically Charles Xavier. And our main protagonist is basically like Emma Frost. And our other main protagonist is basically like Jean Grey, kinda. Only if he was a dude, of course. And of course he wanted, you know, he also talked about his father, and that they went to a beach. And all of them did actually a reference to West Virginia. A bit Fallout, perhaps? Though I have one question before I end this video. I feel sad for the parents, but also like... It was a bit of symbolism with some... what was it? Grass or no? The thing you use to make bread. Yeah, the seeds that you make bread with. She was behind the American flag. Kinda American much, but whatever. It was an interesting... It was like a symbolism of her being alone. But she is not. They have kind of her friends that she has in the van, which is the other ones that I mentioned before. They're kind of her family, kinda. And we will see what happens. But one thing I think about is that I think the father and mother would not forget her completely. It doesn't make sense. She can erase herself completely, which she did. That's where she cried and actually felt sorry for herself in the bathroom in the story. And also, what was it again?
Liam?
No, the little girl. Sue. Sue basically gave her a red dress to look nice, and that was a nice thing. And they talked about high school as well. But anyway, overall, kind of a good kind of / X-Men movie if you don't find any. It's kind of a better alternative to that. If you don't find The Gifted. Or if Gifted Season 2 has not come out. But anyway, I enjoyed the video. We see you next time. Ad Wiedersehen. How much points? 7 points.
7... 7.8
7.8 was it? Yeah, 7.8.